Today, I've travelled to revisit a couple who, since we first met them, have been full of surprises.
Almost 2 years ago to the day, I was standing in a very chilly cemetery in Edinburgh, waiting to hear what Bill and Gary would decide about their future. So, it's -6 in Edinburgh. Why am I so unsuitably dressed?
You can find that out later, but it all started with this 4-bed cemetery lodge house on the outskirts of Edinburgh, where Bill and Gary had lived for 15 years.
We're in a cemetery.
And while Bill loved his quirky home full of treasures, Gary was desperate for more space and a sociable kitchen.
The kitchen is small. I feel like I'm a mile away from everybody. The bedroom's really noisy with the traffic. The garden's too small and overcrowded.
I think we're living in a different house.
Whilst Team Love It really had it all to do,
I really don't know what to do. Seriously, Phil, I haven't felt like this before.
Phil went the extra mile to steal a victory, quite literally.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to England.
Oh!
And we were blown away when we saw the final transformation.
This is just transformed.
But 2 years later, the real surprise is what happened next, as I'm catching up with them in one of the unlikeliest places. Back in 2020, Phil and I were headed to the beautiful and historic city of Edinburgh.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I've just come out of Edinburgh Waverley. I'm waiting for a cab.
Anyway, nice to be in Edinburgh.
Lovely to be in Edinburgh.
First time I've been cold in a while.
First time I've worn a jumper. Yeah.
Are you wearing a jumper?
I'm wearing a thin knit.
A thin knit. Really, Phil? Right. Do you know the ply?
Whilst I'm sure Kirstie would love to, we've not come to Scotland to talk knitwear. We're heading to meet Bill and Gary, who have been together for 34 years. They live on the outskirts of Edinburgh in the seaside suburb of Portobello with their dog Tinker.
And they're no average homeowners. For the past 15 years, they've lived in this Victorian cemetery lodge house.
Of all the things that bother me about the house, the fact that it's next to a graveyard doesn't. You feel kind of quite secluded, apart from the bedroom being on the main road.
A rather busy main road at that, but despite the noise, property manager Bill couldn't imagine ever leaving his beloved and somewhat distinctive 4-bed home.
I fell in love with it straight away. It's got unique characteristics like a turret. It was very quirky, and that appealed to me.
But police community advisor Gary has a different outlook.
The kitchen is small. I feel like I'm a mile away from everybody if I'm in that. We entertain quite a lot, and I'm always the one that does the cooking. The bedroom's really noisy with the traffic. The garden's too small and overcrowded.
I think we're living in a different house.
Even with the cramped kitchen and small garden, collector maniac Bill still manages to find space for his prized memorabilia.
I must admit, every cupboard is jam-packed full of treasures. It's like an Aladdin's cave. It's wonderful.
Whatever space he has, he fills up. If you open any cupboards, all this stuff falls out. I've always said to him, one day you'll come back and there'll be 100 bin bags outside the front door with all that rubbish in it if you don't get it sorted.
What I would love is concealed storage. So that way I can have all my treasures, but I don't have to have Gary going on and on and on about it.
Maybe just take him away and my problems will be solved.
Let's not resort to such drastic measures so soon, Gary.
Not if I can find them the perfect property elsewhere.
I would like a beautiful house in a rural setting with a view of the sea, relatively close to Edinburgh.
Sounds idyllic and pricey for you, Phil.
Thanks so much. We're in a cemetery.
And despite staying overnight nearby, Phil's running late. Honestly, I blame the lack of a responsible adult when he's alone.
At least he hasn't knocked over a gravestone.
Well, this isn't what I was expecting.
I'm withholding judgment until I see inside.
Hello.
Good morning. Very nice to meet you.
Yes, you too.
I'm very intrigued
Yeah.
to see more. Go on, Phil, you get on in.
we're heading straight to the fresh air of the back garden. But even a quick glimpse tells me the problem here isn't entirely down to the house.
What are we doing here? Who wants to love? Who wants to list?
Well, I love the house. I have since the day we bought it.
Well, I want to list it because there's always something needs done, so I think we just need to move on and get somewhere new. It doesn't flow. The rooms are higgledy-piggledy. There's no storage, or what there is full of
Treasures.
treasures.
What kind of treasures are we talking about?
I've seen some of those treasures. Yeah.
I collect things around music, mostly bands from the 80s when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I just tucked my head round the spare bedroom door and it's piled on the bed.
That's my processing unit. That's my area for working.
Welcome to my life.
Categorising it and archiving it.
This is a storage problem.
Whilst I appreciate Bill's hobby, the fact that his collection has commandeered the downstairs spare bedroom, an entire 12 square metres of precious space, just isn't fair. But there are other issues at play here, mainly the ground floor layout.
The kitchen's at the end, and when you're in there, you're kind of shut off from everybody.
It's very narrow, it's very dark.
It seems to me on the surface of things that Bill's passion is contributing to Gary's dislike of the house, but you're the one that wants to stay, Bill.
Yes.
But Gary's the one that spends time in the kitchen, and aside from the collecting and storage, the kitchen isn't working for you. Is that correct?
I would reluctantly agree.
I think I want to go and have a look
Yeah.
around, if that's OK with you two.
Of course.
Even with a £60,000 love-it budget, the solution isn't simple. Local agents have estimated that a renovation spend of more than £50,000 could take them over the ceiling price for their home. So I really need to be careful here.
The only thing they could do to make it work is to push the kitchen out this way. But I should think that would cost them every penny of their budget, and they wouldn't get that back.
Record collections, cassettes.
You're going to need more than a tape rack to sort this one out.
I fear you may be right, but what's more worrying is how I solve the cramped kitchen without overspending. Any ideas?
If you make the kitchen bigger, you'll make the garden even smaller, and their problem is that the garden's not big enough.
Why can't you knock down that wall? You're famous for knocking down walls.
Not for £60,000. I mean, look at the thickness of that wall.
Yeah, you're right. That's 2 foot thick.
Not to mention probably load-bearing.
I'm struggling to see an affordable solution in here, Phil.
And it's impossible to arrange this room any differently.
Because of the doors reduces where you can put
stuff.
things
Yes,
for a kitchen.
Yeah, I really don't know what to do. Seriously, Phil, I haven't felt like this before.
It's clear that lack of storage and kitchen space are at the heart of this debate. Two things I'm sure I can solve with a listed budget of around £500,000.
That may be, but as Bill and Gary own a holiday cottage, listing would cost them more than usual. Over £40,000 in Scotland's equivalent of stamp duty and around £9,000 on moving and legal costs. So they could save a substantial sum if they stay put.
You have a much easier job.
Yeah, I'm freely admit I'm quite pleased to be on Team Listed. Don't you think that Gary's put up with this for such a long time?
I do. I think he's a saint.
Yeah. In a house that you weren't that keen on anyway.
No.
I mean, some of us do have to put up with things for long periods of time that drive us round the twist.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Phil.
I love this house, but I think Gary's a saint. My concern is that it's possible to overspend on this house and not get it back.
Gary, hit me with it. What's on the list? What am I searching for?
An older house with some history, but with an open plan, dining, kitchen kind of thing. It was close to the sea, a nice view. That would really help.
Fine. Bill, are you going to consider it? Do you come into this process with an open mind?
I'm receptive a bit. I'll consider, but I'd like to just take this house and give it a better location so we can get the views that we both would love.
It's going to be an interesting one.
With my £500,000, I've got to find 3-bed period properties geared towards entertaining with a garden and view. But if I'm to get Bill on board, I'd better make sure there's plenty of storage for his collections too.
I believe that I can find what they're after, but I do see that Bill is here. He's here with...
Bill with bells on.
Bill with bells on. He ain't moving very far.
I'm very happy and confident. Kirstie hasn't got a cat in hell's chance.
Yes, she does.
I think you'll be on a jolly looking at things, and I've got to work out what to do in here.
Usually the way. Thank the Lord. See ya!
Oh, he's being insufferably smug. In 2020, just outside Edinburgh, Phil and I were helping Bill and Gary, who were at loggerheads over their 4-bed Victorian home located in a cemetery.
You look troubled.
I am troubled.
OK.
I love my home. I love the quirkiness of the building. I love the decor and the home that I've created.
I think we could get a nicer house with a nicer outlook, maybe in a nicer place.
But despite an open-ended search criteria for Phil, he was determined to show Bill they'd be better off elsewhere and had £500,000 to prove it.
It's going to be an interesting one.
Whereas I was armed with £60,000 to help them stay put. Except, as always, there was a catch. I only had a ceiling price of around £50,000 to play with, so I came up with a clever budget to give them both what they wanted while staying well under budget.
So, gents, under here there is a plan which will get Gary out of the Cinderella-like kitchen and into the limelight.
Where he belongs.
Indeed, where he belongs.
My plan repurposes the dining room as a kitchen diner by installing units and work surfaces, an under-counter fridge and a new cooking area. A large square table with bench seating allows daily use when tucked away, but can be pulled out to seat up to 12 guests when entertaining. The existing kitchen becomes a combined pantry, additional kitchen space and utility room in one. And finally, bedroom 2 will be furnished with a new desk and stylish freestanding storage to allow Bill to process and store his precious collections.
I never thought about utilising a room that we very rarely use.
Yeah,
other
it's a
than
great room.
Walking through. Were you saying the cooker would be along there?
The cooker. This is where you would do your cooking and you wouldn't feel cut off.
I think it's great. I'm just, like, a bit kind of taken aback because I've never thought about it and I've even considered that.
That's Gary taken care of. Now for Bill and bedroom 2.
You take the bed out of that room, you put a sofa bed, and I don't mean a pull-out sofa bed, which is almost like sort of sofa meets chaise longue meets single bed type of thing. You get all the display stuff that you want, you have all the shelving that you want, you really go down the sort of nerdy path for storage. If you turn that room into a passion room...
Yes.
A passion room.
I think we should all have a passion room.
I think we should. Yeah. Yep, I've sown that seed. But I hope I can leave you with positive thoughts, positive things to think about.
Yes.
Absolutely.
As long as I get my passion room, you can do it in the kitchen. You can start now.
Whatever turns you on, Bill, whatever turns you on.
She won me over with the passion room. I'm all for that. I think that should happen straight away.
But it's Gary we need to convince to stay put.
For me, I feel good. Shocked, but good, because it's another option.
Because of budget constraints, I'm hoping the clever and cost-effective repurposing of rooms is the right thing to do.
To keep Bill and Gary in this lovely house and beat Phil.
You might be right, Kirstie. I think my search is going to be trickier and wider than I first thought. The criteria still feels a bit hazy, but one thing they both agree on is the idea of a rural setting with quick access to the city to see their friends, which is why my first property is just 11 miles south of Edinburgh in the village of Howgate, and despite being on a main road, offers panoramic views of the countryside.
So what do you make of this?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Massive attraction is the views.
Yes.
Let's get on in, because it gets better.
Wow.
Even with the busy road, that's an encouraging start from Bill on Team Love It. Listed at offers over $545,000, I'm pushing them on budget, but this place has a lot to offer. Originally built as 2 cottages in 1881, it gives Gary the modern, spacious, open-plan kitchen diner he's after. The dual-aspect sitting room has bifolding doors that open onto the soon-to-be-finished large garden. Upstairs, there are 4 bedrooms with 1 ensuite and another shower room. Plenty of options for Bill's collections to run as wild as the outlook. With stunning vistas in every direction, this period property offers them everything they need in the semi-rural location they want.
Come on in. Now, given that you guys are looking for somewhere with a modern layout within a traditional building, I thought this could hit the spot.
Yeah, it's a nice size, actually.
That's what you're doing at home, you're opening it out.
I like it, but it feels a bit too modern for me.
Look, after you, let's head through to what would have been the other cottage.
Well, you did ask for a modern layout. At least Bill's sounding positive.
You struggle with flow at home, don't you? And how
Yeah.
it feels a bit disjointed.
Yes.
I felt this actually works really well.
Yes, I do like the size of this room. I'm very pleased that it's so quiet, so it's good double glazing.
OK. Gary? It's just not doing it for you at all, is it?
No. It feels like a modern flat.
Yeah. However, it's got the open planness that you're not going to find
Yes.
in a truly traditional building.
Yes.
Why don't you have a look upstairs? There's 4 beds, 2 baths.
4 beds.
See what you think. It's all falling a bit flat. This has not gone down half as well as I'd hoped.
But that's the risk with an open brief. At least I can use this intel to guide my next house choices.
Oh, well.
Lovely views from the back here. Well, there will be once.
Once
a
the landscape's done.
It's quite a big garden, isn't it?
This is a big house for 2 people and stunning outside and in. But it's clear I've not hit the nail on the head here.
What can I learn from being here?
It's good it's modernised, but there's no character to the inside of the house.
When you say character, is it definitely period character, or is it interested in individuality and kind of, I describe it as a building with personality?
Yes.
Maybe personality.
Yes.
OK. Let me work with that. But we'll move on from here. Call it a learning experience for me.
Back at the house, it's been 3 months since I left Gary and Bill with my plans. As their home is listed, they need consent for the work, both inside and out. But now it's signed off, their build can begin.
We got the listed building consent. Unfortunately, the kitchen's coming from Germany, so this is what's kind of holding things up a little bit.
But they're cracking on with what they can in the meantime. As well as Bill starting to sort through his treasures, they've decided to supersize my plans by fully swapping the dining room and kitchen. In addition, they're splashing out £4,500 on sliding doors in what will be the dining room, which will look onto a newly landscaped garden.
I've got a very bad habit of asking the builder to do additional things.
Yes.
So the list isn't getting shorter, it's getting longer. And I've got to remind myself you've got to pay for all this.
With all the additional work, they're set to spend upwards of 45 grand, more than I'd wanted and taking them dangerously close to the top of their ceiling price. But it should help Team Lovett's cause.
It's really starting to feel exciting.
If Gary's getting excited about Team Lovett's efforts, I need to up my game, especially after the flat reaction to my first house. So I've decided to shake things up a bit.
The brief is still fairly wide and a little bit vague, but I at least know a little bit more about what it's going to take for them to list their own property.
However, 3-bed traditional character properties that are open plan and on budget are few and far between. So I'm going to challenge their idea of what a character property can be with my next house, a bit of a wild card situated along the coast in the hamlet of Seaton Mains.
Down here we have quite a interesting property. It is a bit of a curved ball from my perspective.
So this one here?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, it's modern, it's never been lived in, it's freshly built, but it is very, very individual and quite quirky.
So far, so good.
Good.
Listed at offers over $440,000, this fresh-off-the-peg unique new build makes the most of its gorgeous coastal views by flipping the traditional layout. The sitting room, complete with balcony, is on the first floor, along with a guest cloakroom and huge kitchen diner, which is over a third bigger than their existing kitchen and dining rooms combined. Downstairs, on the ground floor, there are 3 bedrooms, 1 ensuite and a family bathroom to boot.
Come on in. Now, up on this level, you get your wonderful views. Wow. Gary, I suppose I had a slight concern that you might struggle to get the feeling here.
I'm not struggling at all. I've got a good feeling about this. I like it a lot.
Ooh.
It's more quirky than the last place.
Yes.
Surrounded by green.
Looks like my gamble is paying off. Bill seems a little quiet, though, and he's the one I need to win round.
Guest loo there. And then this wonderful, huge, open-plan kitchen diner, and it is absolutely vast.
Great kitchen. I like it.
Could you picture yourselves here or somewhere like this?
I can't. I'm missing the fireplaces, I'm missing the...
But it's not an old building.
I know, but that's what I like in a home.
Just when things were looking up.
Why don't you guys have some time together, have a wander. Give me a shout if you've got any questions.
OK, thank you.
Whilst Gary is embracing the new idea of character, Bill can't seem to get his head around it.
Well, this is a nice balcony, yeah?
Oh, wow, yeah. So it's great, it's got view, I like that, but...
Yeah, the garden's a bit small.
And downstairs might need even more of an open mind.
No, it's disappointing.
Yeah, but there is, obviously, upstairs is where you've got the view and all that, but it is slightly dark for me.
Admittedly, it has a basement feel, but a lick of white paint on those walls outside and some sympathetic planting would improve things no end.
How did you get on?
Better than the first property,
Yeah.
but very dark.
Downstairs.
Yes.
I'm hoping that coming here shows that your budget does buy you something really interesting close to the beach.
Because it has that quirkiness about it, it works for me.
But have I at least opened your eyes to the concept of listing?
As a concept, closer to the coast, yes.
Leave it with me. I've learned lots. Hopefully you guys have as well.
I think I'd call that progress.
Just now, for the 2 properties that I've seen so far, I've not been convinced or tempted to join Team Listed.
Phil's obviously getting more of an idea of what really matters, so I think the next property will tick all the boxes.
At least Gary's got faith in you, Phil. I'm visiting Gary and Bill, who back in 2020 on the outskirts of Edinburgh were in dispute over their rather unique home.
It's like painting the Forth Road Bridge. It's always needing work to it.
And after a slow start on the search with Phil,
It feels a bit too modern.
it looked as though I might have the upper hand with my love it plans.
I think it's great. Just like a bit kind of taken aback.
The build was still in its early days, but Gary and Bill supersized my plan and the budget along with it. I was keen to see what was going on.
Wow. Blimey.
In order to make the most of the view out of the newly planned sliding doors, the overgrown garden has had a big tidy up. Shrubs have been cut back and the landscaping started in readiness for a new raised bed.
The garden just feels a lot bigger. So no change in here as yet, but rumour has it that the lads are thinking of actually moving the kitchen wholly into here and the old kitchen wholly as dining room.
Personalising the plans is always a good indication that they could be here for the long haul.
I gather you're going to make this wholly the kitchen and next door wholly the dining room.
Yes.
A brave move.
If you're going to go for it, we might as well do
Go
it
for it.
and go for it.
Are you putting anything in the dining room?
There'll be some kind of storage for plates and
Yeah.
things like that.
It's a bold and potentially expensive move to fully swap the kitchen, but I'm pleased that after almost 2 years of arguing, they are agreed on something. So the next thing is Bill's collection.
How are things going in the study stroke passion room?
Very well. I've got some nice ideas that I'd like to run past you and see what you think.
Bill's obviously spent a long time creating his collection, but now he needs a place to sit and organise it, and then a proper place to put it.
I think you need your stuff to be properly stored so that you can access it.
Yes.
And this is
This is a German book and Skippy.
Skippy de Bosque Kangaroo. An aventure, that's French. I can't speak German.
No kidding, Kirstie. And in fact, it's actually Dutch.
That was 10 pence.
That's 10 pence you'll never get back.
I think you'll find I will.
I rest my case.
Even so, it can't just be left strewn over the bed. And whilst modern storage is widely available on the high street, I find that vintage or reclaimed freestanding furniture is a stylish alternative.
Wow.
Which can add a unique touch to any room, no matter your property's age.
And look at this.
Yes, it's lovely.
I mean,
That's the size of a cassette tape.
Vertical cabinets are great for paperwork, letters or photos and don't take up much floor space. Horizontal storage, like architect's drawers, could easily be used as an alternative to store magazines, arts and crafts supplies, or even kitchen utensils.
do you find this inspiring?
Oh, yes, I can see several pieces here in my home.
Yeah. And I think you could do great things along these lines.
With one problem dealt with, just over 2 weeks later, things are moving on dramatically back at the house. The old kitchen is well on the way to becoming the new dining room, and half of the swanky new kitchen has already been installed.
It's quite exciting to see it actually happening.
I'd like to see it when it's finished. I'm not bothered what it looks like in the middle.
Well, Gary, maybe it's time we go and look at what awaits you on the market when you finish.
I think I've finally got a clearer picture of what Gary and Bill are after, which, given their budget and their search area, is no mean feat, let me tell you. So I'm really pleased that they have given me permission to stretch both budget and search area.
To see if a bigger budget can give them more of what they want, I'm now able to look at properties up to 600,000 and around an hour from home. So with that in mind,
I'm heading south, just across the border.
Honestly, Phil, a whole other country?
hold on, another country it may be, but at just over an hour away, the village of Horncliffe, just outside Berwick-upon-Tweed, offers Gary and Bill the rural feel they're after, with quick and easy access to a bustling town and stunning coastline. But as impressive as that is, I'm more excited to see their reactions to my final property.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to England.
Oh!
I thought for you guys, moving from a cemetery into a church is kind of natural progression,
Bit of a
isn't it?
theme.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
What do you make of that, then?
Yeah, it's amazing. Look at the windows.
It is quite special.
Wow. Love it.
Did you hear that? Hallelujah! Bill has finally seen the light. With a guide price of $595,000, this 1850s village church conversion boasts a breathtaking double-height atrium on the ground floor, providing access to 4 well-proportioned ensuite bedrooms. Up the central staircase, the spacious kitchen, dining area and comfy lounge blend the open-plan modern living with the character features Bill and Gary love. Behind the dining area, there are 2 further bedrooms, a private galleried mezzanine above that, and up more stairs, the impressive main bedroom. With so much on offer, I'm hopeful the guys will love this as much as I do. It really is special.
Now, you've got to check this out.
Oh, wow. Oh, yes, that's beautiful.
It's properly spacious.
Amazing.
Good. Let's see some more.
This unique property is over 2 times bigger than their lodge.
Amazing. Absolutely. I'm gobsmacked.
I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea living in this environment. Is it somewhere you could imagine being?
Yes, definitely.
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 Up there is a room specially for Bill's collectibles. You can collect even more things and display everything at the same time.
Oh, I see.
You had to spoil it.
Look, help yourselves. Have a wander. Go and check out that kitchen. It really is. It's the biggest kitchen island I've ever seen.
Oh, this is nice.
Look at the size of this.
This is really good.
And those beautiful windows. Look at the shape of those windows.
Yeah.
More very positive noises from them both. And Bill's not even seen the perfect spot for his memorabilia yet.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is a lot bigger than I thought it'd be. Just think how many cassette tapes I could get in here, Gary.
Sounds to me like Bill has finally joined Team Listed.
Oh, this is nice, eh? It's really quaint. It's small, but it's nice.
Ah, you're out looking for a graveyard. There isn't one here.
What?
There isn't one.
Oh, a shame.
But is it somewhere you could see yourselves living?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very tempting.
So have I done my job?
I think you have. I'm mega impressed with this. Within our budget to find somewhere like this is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I think I have pulled it out of the bag with this one. Come on, Bill. Team List it. You know it makes sense. Well, come on. You've got it within you. I know you have.
Kirstie's toast.
Kirstie is toast.
Well, despite crossing country borders, even I will admit you've outdone yourself here.
Genuinely feeling torn, thinking I love both places now. And it's really just waiting to see what we decide, what the next step and home will be.
I mean, Bill loves it even more than Gary does. This is a spectacular result. I think it's a case of catch up, Kirstie.
Pride always comes before a fall, Phil. Just you wait. 4 months since our first meeting, Phil and I were back in Edinburgh, eager to hear what Bill and Gary had decided to do.
Hello!
Hello. Come
Nice
in.
to see you both.
You can come.
When we first met Bill and Gary, their house featured an unloved dining room whose prime function was a corridor to a small, dark kitchen. But after swapping the rooms around, the new £16,000 high-spec kitchen sits firmly at the heart of the house, and Gary along with it. Featuring a sleek design and sophisticated muted colours, the new space looks like it could be straight out of an interior design magazine.
This is just transformed. I proposed a gentle semi-swap.
OK.
What's happened is an absolute full swap.
Yes.
But what's extraordinary is that this is a really punchy kitchen.
It's a big kitchen.
The colour is super chic. Anyone interested in cooking and entertaining, this is a stage.
And it really works. Everything's close by, everything's accessible. We'll have seating here. You can sit and talk while you cook. You can talk into the dining room. So it really flows.
Yeah.
And what's more, next door, Gary and Bill's decision to transform the old dark kitchen into a bright and inviting dining room was inspired. With the addition of sliding doors, they can enjoy an alfresco dining experience, whatever the weather.
Can we see some more?
Yes. Yes.
Previously, Bill's memorabilia was in disarray, bursting out of every available space, as well as monopolising a whole spare bedroom. But after taking my advice, the collection has been streamlined somewhat and helped along with a couple of choice pieces of storage and a handy desk. And with the original bed doubling as seating, the bedroom cum passion room is fit for guests and ready for Bill to display and sort his treasured items properly.
Look at this, Bill.
Huge difference in here.
Whose idea was the panelling?
That was mine.
It's inspired. It makes it feel so much bigger. It gives it depth and warmth. I will just say that every moment I spend in this house, I think Phil's confidence is less and less and less justified.
I'll hand it to you. The changes are impressive.
Even more so when you consider they haven't had to extend into the garden and lose their only outside space. Instead, the boys have maximised it by clearing and landscaping, making it an inviting focal point from the dining room.
You're going to get to sit around that and have barbecues?
Yes, hopefully. For as long as we're here.
Well, I'm relying on you, Gary. I'm relying on you. Because you can open these doors, I mean, and they are lovely, because it's very nice. Mm-hmm. It's whether it's enough.
They may have expanded my original plans somewhat, but I think what they've achieved is phenomenal. And with a final bill of just over £45,000, they managed to stay within the ceiling price. But after 15 years of living here, will Gary finally love this house?
I think you've done absolutely everything that you possibly could have done, but you haven't actually tackled the major issues.
The size has been tackled.
You haven't made it any bigger. You just...
No, but it has. No, but it's not about bricks and mortar.
Yes.
Repositioning a house.
There was more usable space.
Much more usable space.
Yes, but we've got to talk about the church.
Yeah. It was an amazing property. The only thing that I didn't like was there was too many bedrooms. There was 7 bedrooms.
And where on earth was this vast palace?
It was in England.
Yeah, it was in England.
I have said for years that Phil would eventually show somebody something in a different country, and it has finally happened.
Yeah, just over a bridge.
Right, let's do this. Bill, Gary, are you going to love it?
Or are you going to list it?
We're going to.
List it.
Ooh, you had me worried there. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You'll sell it really well.
We're not going to do it straight away. We're going to enjoy what we've put in, but with the intention of getting something
Yeah.
out of the city.
Well, I'm delighted, and I'm delighted you've done such a beautiful job to the house as well.
Yeah. Don't think we ever thought we would come to a decision we both agreed on. It's the first time for everyone.
But especially myself, where I thought, I love the house, I still love the house, but we now feel we've done as much as we can to the house, and it's quite exciting to look at what we could do next.
But I don't think even they could have imagined what did happen.
My word. Two years ago, I was with Gary and Bill in Edinburgh. I knew they weren't going to stay, but I had no idea, and nor did they, that they would end up in Benidorm.
So I've pulled rank and jumped on a plane to catch up with them. Having decided to list it, much to Phil's pleasure.
Ooh, you had me worried there.
1 year later, the boys sold their cemetery lodge for a whopping £602,000, just over 70k more than it was valued at the year before. Their plan was to relocate to the Scottish borders, where they would start a new project. However, the building gods had other ideas, as they've run into several complications with planning permissions, meaning they've activated Plan B and headed for the sunshine of the Costa Blanca.
Fingers crossed it's the right address.
Hola.
It is the right address. Hola.
Come in.
Look at this. My word. It's so different. I kind of don't know where to start.
I'm gobsmacked. It is different to their cemetery lodge, but it still has the quirky features Bill and Gary love. The iron staircase, windows and flooring are packed with character. But this property also has the space and the weather to go with it. With 4 generously sized bedrooms and a box room, there is more than enough space for Bill's treasures. The well-proportioned kitchen has been tastefully refurbished to reflect their style. But, unlike their old home in Scotland, it doesn't bear all the weight for entertaining. As with better weather all year round, they have the courtyard and roof terrace to host their guests in. I'm impressed.
Everything screams Spain. You've got the marble staircase, you've got the ironwork on the stairs.
Beautiful features.
So, 2 years ago, I came to see you.
Yeah.
And you, with him, that other one, Phil Spencer, and you sat there despite all the work you'd done on your house, and you said you were going to list it. So you put it on the market?
Yeah.
Yes, and very quickly it sold, and we used some of the proceeds of that to buy this place here in Spain.
And when did you first come to Benidorm?
May of this year.
May?
Yeah, as a viewing trip.
Who said it was a good idea? What suggested, you know?
Well, Gary, we always wanted a place in the sun.
Yeah.
And
we don't work on logic, we work on impulse. And I knew I wanted to be near the beach, near bars. I wanted somewhere that was all year round. warm and,
Easy to get to.
nice. And we saw this, it needed a lot of work, but I thought the location, Old Town, beach, bars, cafes, and it just seemed perfect. It just was, and it was a good price for Benidorm, so
I've even found a local shop that sells second-hand records, books and music cassettes.
Have you managed to get any of it into the house?
Yes. Don't tell Gary.
Well, I want to see all this house and this miracle building work that's been going on.
Okay.
okay.
In true Bill and Gary style, they've really gone for it. Spending around £21,000 so far, they've renovated 3 bathrooms and are working their way through the 5 bedrooms. But the old, tired kitchen they arrived to has been totally transformed.
Ooh, now this is a good kitchen because it's not your sort of big family kitchen, but neither is it a galley kitchen.
Yeah, Spanish tend to have smaller kitchens because we have a barbecue. People eat outdoors most of the time. So for, Spanish houses, it's quite a decent-sized kitchen. And we did think about knocking down walls, but I thought, no. We need Kirstie to come and advise us about that first.
No.
But it's also a work in progress and it's almost finished.
Like Phil, they went to a whole other country, but in Benidorm, they found the perfect house in the perfect location. It's close to the sea with stunning views, but also close to the hustle and bustle of the old town with its shops and cafes.
Oh, my word! Look at this. I love the colour scheme.
The glass you can see out, but nobody can see in. It's especially...
You took the words out of my mouth, Gary. I was about to say, while this is lovely, you are quite exposed to your neighbours.
Yeah.
That is one-way glass.
Yeah.
That is lovely. I mean, it's just so different. That's what keeps on striking me. It's so different, either to Edinburgh or to the borders.
Yes.
I'm blown away.
But no real luxury pad in Benidorm would be complete without a roof terrace.
So, I've never been to Benidorm. I've just walked up through a bright light house that you seem to have done a hell of a lot to in the space of time you've been here.
Yes.
What's not to like?
Nothing. We love it. We really love it.
Can I ask what this cost?
220,000 euros.
Yeah.
220,000 euros.
Benidorm property is expensive because it's a year-round place. That price is good for walking distance to the beach and the old town and things like that.
What can you buy in Edinburgh for 220,000?
A garage, maybe.
What are you planning to do out here?
Well, maybe an awning.
It's all about the shade, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it gets really hot here in the
it does.
summer. The sun's beating down constantly, so yeah, we do maybe need some to create shade.
If you look on a search engine and you look up Moroccan rooftops...
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah.
I like Morocco.
You know, you see those sort of tented...
Yes,
And then they have sides as well.
Yes.
Which protect from the sun coming in.
Yes.
And I think it'd be lovely to do something like that.
that's
And
a
they're
good
not
idea.
expensive.
No.
So, I mean, that would give you some privacy here, having things grown along here, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lovely, huge roof terrace.
It's lots of space.
I mean, it's like another room, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing, obviously, people put on their roofs are solar panels to reduce your energy costs even further.
Yes.
You just feel that the sun's out all those days of the year.
Yeah.
Why would you not?
Yeah.
But do some digging on the local council and government websites because often they offer various incentives for renewable energy. What these two have discovered here is wonderful and offers them a life that is simply not possible in the UK. Well, not 365 days of the year.
If Phil Spencer could see me now.
He'd be so envious of
He
you.
regards this as a win, obviously, because it was a listed.
Yes.
But who's winning now, Phil?
Exactly.
Look at me. Sun, beautiful Spanish tiled courtyards,
Vino.
glass of rosé. Look, I mean,
Salute.
we've got to do this early before we
Salud.
drink. Salud.
Salud, Phil.
So, this is a lovely, balmy, cool spot. What is your plan for it?
Quite a lot. We have the basics just now of the barbecue here, so we'll keep that.
Yes.
But we're going to sort of hopefully put a jacuzzi in the corner.
That would be wonderful because it's totally private.
Yes.
But I'm also thinking about getting some screening put here because I want a wall of light
going along there.
Oh, that would
and
be
you've got
lovely.
to think of your neighbour, you have some solid behind it.
So fairy lights kind of thing.
Yeah.
Bill, it says a lot about you that you've thought about that, because so many people put up lights and never think of the impact of those lights on their neighbours. It would be lovely to have lights here. The only thing I would do is I'd make it navy blue, like the tops of the tiles.
Yes.
Oh, yes, yeah. That's...
It's just lovely.
What we did put in as well, we put in these new patio doors.
Oh, it didn't have those?
No, it's a single door and a small window.
Ooh.
So when we first came, that's one of the first jobs we got done.
So basically, 6 months ago, you came out here for the first time.
Yes.
Bought a house, and now here you are.
You couldn't make it up, really, could you?
You could not make it up.
Because we love Scotland, we think it's the best country in the world.
Of course you do.
But the weather is
Yes.
not great, so to have Scotland and to have Benidorm just is like a dream come true.
It's a love story, because you've just gone for it. So many of us go, what if, what if, what if? And you've just said,
We've always done that.
Yeah.
just go for it.
And I mean, neither of us were born with money or inherited money. We both came from council house, which I'd never dreamt in my wildest dream would ever have a house in Spain. I never dreamt I'd have my own house. So it just shows if you kind of, follow your dreams and kind of work hard, you can get it. So
Let's drink to that.
Hey.
Following your dreams.
salud.
Salud.
And it couldn't have happened to a nicer couple. Although I do wonder where they might be in another 2 years. Shotgun that trip, Phil.